So now that you're familiar with creating actors, applying behaviors to those actors, and also creating rules to control the triggering of those behaviors, let's go ahead and take a look at how we can import some of our own artwork into GameSalad. Now, I'd like to point out though that it's exciting to bring your own artwork into GameSalad, but there is a benefit in holding off for that for a while you're learning GameSalad. And the reason I say that is if you can create a very fun game that's easy to play or easy to understand by just using simple blocks with different shapes and colors, then you've really achieved quite a bit. And you want to make sure that your games are playable and fun to play even before you worry about the artwork itself. So it's amazing how you can rapid prototype just using these simple squares and create some really exciting fun gameplay before you even worry about the art side of things. But with that said, let's take a look at how we can bring in some of our own artwork, and make our games even more original. So you notice next to the Actor tab, we have the Media tab. If we click on that, we can simply click to add either images or audio. So I'll go ahead and click Add Images. And go ahead and navigate to a folder that has some images in it. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and use the Art Pack 1, which you can download from the page that you're watching this video on. You can either select a single image or hold the Shift key and select all of these images at once. And if you're not familiar with creating images with an image editing software like Photoshop, don't worry, you can learn that additionally on our site. But just be aware that GameSalad imports images like JPEGs and PNGs. So with all those selected, I'll click Open. And you could see now that we have all those different images loaded here in our media library. So there's a few different ways that you can kind of turn your actors into one of these images. The first way is we can of course just create an actor. So I'll just create an empty actor. And I can click on that actor. And then down here in the attributes, I can click on the Actor tab. And you can see this is where we've been editing our actor's color and size. You see right here this white box. Well, that's the image of your actor, which we've come to know by dragging actors into our stage. And it says drag an image here. So we can go to our media library, and I can grab one of these images and just drag and drop on top of that actor. So now if I go back to the Actor tab, you can see that that actor has been turned into that image. So I can rename this actor Block 1. And if I were to drag that out into my stage, there you can see instead of a white box, we finally now have some artwork in our actor. So that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is you can click on your Media tab here, and you can grab an image and just drag that image out to the stage. And if we go back to our Actor tab, you can see that that image has now been added as an actor inside our Actor tab here. So for now, we're not going to worry about that second actor, and we just want to focus on this block. If I were to move this block over to the corner here, and then grab one of its corners and drag out, you can see that I am now stretching this image across my stage here, which may be what you want to do, but in most cases when you're working with artwork, you don't want to stretch the artwork out because you can see how it gets very blurry and pixelated very quickly. Even stretching it downward can kind of distort the original artwork, which we don't really want to do. So I'm just going to hit undo. What we want to do is we want to be able to tile some of our artwork. Now, some artwork is appropriate for tiling and other artwork isn't, so you'll have to create your own or experiment. But with this actor selected, and in the attributes the Actor tab selected, we can scroll down to where it says Graphics and open up that pull down. And inside the Graphics pull down, you'll notice that we have this horizontal wrap and this vertical wrap, and by default they're set to stretch, which is what we saw when we click and move the corners out. We're actually stretching the image. What we want to do is we want to take this horizontal and vertical wrap and switch that over to tile. So now we're not going to stretch the image, we're going to tile it horizontally and vertically. So now look what happens when I grab this image. As I move out, we can actually tile this infinitely. What's really great about this is if I wanted to create an entire level that had all these bricks stacked next to each other, instead of having to drag out each one of those bricks, I can just tile this floor across. That's also very optimized, so instead of having to work with many different actors in a scene, we're actually only just working with one actor and only taking up one graphic in memory in our game. So we can kind of get this into position. And now let's go ahead and bring in another piece of artwork. So again, I'll click on my Media tab, and this time I'll click on the grass, and I'll drag that directly into my stage here, and just get that into position. And I want to stretch this horizontally, so I don't have to turn on the vertical tile, but I do have to turn on the horizontal tile. So we'll do that the same way we did before, which is to open up the graphics pull down. And for horizontal tile, we're going to switch that over to tile. And that just allows me to go ahead and click on the actor here in the stage and then grab that handle and stretch it out. And then we can hit preview to see how everything is looking. So that's looking pretty good so far. So if we go back to the editor and then back to our media library, we can go ahead and grab something else. So I'll just grab a different type of brick, and then I'll drag that brick here into my stage. And again, if these are small images and they're hard to grab, you can always use the arrow keys to kind of move them around. And what I want to do is I want to give this horizontal and vertical stretch as well. So we'll go back to our actors, select that second brick, I'll name it brick, and then go down into graphics. And for horizontal, we want tiled, and vertical wrap, we want tiled as well. And that's going to let me click on this and just stretch it out over my entire stage here. And if I were to preview this, this is what we have. Now, you'll notice that this last piece of artwork, or this last actor that I dragged into my stage, is actually on top of everything else. So, for instance, if I were to move this around, see how it's on top of the other actors? Well, I actually want it to be behind the other actors. So there's a few ways that you can send artwork back behind other ones. The first thing that you can do is actually go up to Layout, and you can go Send to Back or Send Backward. If you click Send Backward, it's going to send it back one actor in the layers, or if you click Send it Back, it's going to send it behind all the other actors. You can also do the reverse, which is if I have this actor selected, we can go to Layout, and you can say Bring Forward one, or Bring to Front, and then now it's in front of all the other actors. So we're just going to go ahead and Send to Back again. That way we have everything set up. Looking good so far. So take a moment to import that artwork and experiment with different ways of adding that artwork to an actor or to the stage, and also how you can use the horizontal and vertical tiles so that you can stretch a single image or tile a single image across your stage without distorting or stretching the image.